SiriusXM is where moments happen, and you'll find them here 24/7. In music, talk, sports, comedy, and news. Live and on demand. And they're on in your car, online, or on the app so you won't miss a thing. Visit SiriusXM.ca/never-miss-a-beat. Happy Monday, everybody. Welcome to another lunchtime session of CMA Connected. I'm your host, Ben Wu. And on this January Monday afternoon, well, afternoon for those of us in Central and Eastern Canada, really morning for my next guest. This gentleman has his reputation precedes him. He is a successful businessman and entrepreneur and has built a brand out in Vancouver and BC that really represents high grade. And we get to not only have this gentleman with us today, but I think we may even get a chance to go get a personalized walkthrough of one of his locations. So without further ado, I'm going to bring our guest on. And his name is Mr. Keith McCumber. Welcome, Keith.
Hello, thank you.
How are you doing today? Oh, you like we were saying a little bit early on behind in the back studio, the weekend just seems to go by too quick, and we are on Monday.
Yes, a whole Sunday, and it's gone. Boom.
And for those, we work the retail, right? And a lot of us, it's long hours, it's long shifts, and the business got to keep going. So sometimes those weekends, I mean, we cherish those times sometimes away from the shop, but as well as anybody, there's sometimes you just got to stay at the shop, and I'm sure you have no shortage of stories and times where you've just had to stay at the shop. It's funny.
Today's my anniversary.
Oh, happy anniversary.
Thank you. 17 years. I found out about it yesterday.
Do tell us the story. How's that? How do you not know when your own anniversary is, Keith?
She doesn't know either. So it's okay. So it pops up on a calendar thing.
Are we calendar zombies? Have we been reduced down to where we can't use our own mental capacity to remember dates? Seriously?
How important is it?
Very important.
To some, not to everybody.
Some. I guess not to everybody.
She doesn't really look at it that way.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, kudos to you.
Mm-hmm.
But in any way, happy anniversary. Either way. Keith, obviously, Keith McCumber, synonymous with the brand SoundsGood Auto, right behind you. Sounds, if you do your head, yep, sounds good. 2 locations in Greater Vancouver.
Mm-hmm.
In business since I'm going to age you here, buddy. 1987. You've been in the game. Gone through a bunch of different roles, from being on the sales floor to the management side of things. And here's something I learned, even from an installer standpoint, you've had that experience being an installer as well.
For many, many years.
Really. So, obviously the highlight of today's show is going to be us, getting a glimpse and a tour of your shop. But before we go there, I just had a couple of things I wanted to clear up because I want to learn about you. And, how do you go from being on sales into installation? Because honestly, that's one transition direction that I don't see that often. I usually see the other way, right? You're an installer and then you end up in sales, but now you went the other way.
I'm really lucky. People give me opportunities all the time. And so I was working at Majestic Sound Warehouse, this big yellow place in Ontario. And I met this guy, and he was going to open up a car stereo shop. And I thought, I've always wanted to do that. And he said, well, let me train you. It was as simple as that. And in 1990, I moved from Majestic over to I don't remember the name of the place. It was that small. We used to work for Multitech Warehouse Direct in the same building in Kitchener, Ontario. And that's where I cut my teeth. Blew up my amplifiers, did all the good stuff, popped my first hole through a subwoofer.
It's amazing how we remember those moments.
Oh,
blown voice coils. Worked the installation, grinded it out there, and then you made the big move to BC.
Yes.
And tell us how SoundsGood came about, and even the name.
I was working out of my car. I was mobile, and it was called Mobile Installation Company, and it was going quite well. I had just finished my stint at Future Shop for 3 years, and I thought I'm just going to go ahead and do this by myself because they don't know what they're doing. Clearly, it's probably why they're out of business now. But my process was that they didn't know what they were doing. That was all about bullshit and stuff. So I decided to do my own thing. Had a bunch of stuff in my car. One day, I woke up, all my shit was gone, stolen. Somebody pulled the window down, and found out it was two teenage girls that broke into my car and stole all my tools, my remote starters, my car alarms. Yeah, I was kind of out. And so I made the decision to open up a building, have a mainstay. And so my wife and I, we started looking around.
So this came out of, I guess, a less than ideal situation with, the break-in of the car. What's impressive about that is you decide to stick with it. Like, that wasn't enough to deter you from continuing down that path. I'm going to guess that first location might have been a little bit humble compared to what you have today.
Bit of a shithole. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Not going to lie.
Was that in the Vancouver area?
That was in Vancouver as well. Yeah. It was the showroom was 12 foot by 10 foot.
Yes, sir.
Desk to start with. I had no money. Like, the rent was $1,500 a month. I could barely make that in the beginning. And yeah, it was sketchy.
So, and it was just you and the wife, or you one-man show, or?
The wife was there for some moral support. But yeah, it was the one-man show.
So you picked up the phone, you booked the appointments, you did the installs, you did the sales, all that. It was all you.
That's nothing. It's when you're up under a dash like this and your earpieces, blah, 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 and you're trying to get things done and get customer in and still do the job and order the parts, make sure the parts are there on time.
Right. It's not an easy. For those guys out there that are still doing the hustle as a one-man show, it is not. I mean, that's a grind. It is definitely a grind, and I think you can appreciate that. Well, and one last question: At what point did you know that you had something going on? You were offering something unique that customers were certainly attracted to, and you made that next step?
Oh, I'd get the Wayne's World all the time. I was so helpful and I was so cheap. I would go to people's places to get their cars and work in their parking lots and do all this other stuff. And so I took that ideology from my mobile installation days into the new shop, which we had to make our own sign and do a bunch of stuff, but we still made it affordable for people, and I still did a great job.
Fantastic. So let's get to the walkthrough. Where are we? Set this up for us. Where are we looking at? What location is this?
Okay, Burnaby, BC, right across the road from Vancouver, BC.
Well, all right. So you could pretty much see Vancouver from there, I guess.
Yeah.
All right. So here we go. Thank you for taking the time. Obviously, this was after hours. Everybody was safe during this whole recording. So let's go take a look at this awesome location you have. And let's see. Here we go. We'll put that full screen so everybody can enjoy that.
You look a little slow.
Welcome to SoundsGood Auto, where it's nice and warm inside, right? It's caring, it's inviting. Except for this little device. This is what lets you in.
So,
electronic device.
So which location are we at, Keith?
We're currently at our Burnaby location, Burnaby, BC. Vancouver is right across the road. So a couple things you want to notice to walk in. Yes, this is the device that lets you in. It's kind of like a jail cell place. It lets people in so that we don't have too many people in at a time, because the law states that you can only have so many people at a time, provided in case we have. We also have a clean station. We have spare masks. We have some liquid to sanitize your fingers. We have the documents that show how to wash your hands and how to wear a mask and all the craziness. We also have some accolades up on the wall that show what we've done over the years from different magazines. We have a couple desks here for the salespeople. Ruben, the manager, usually stations himself here, and then the person sits over there. We have a number of different audio stations. The way that the flow usually works is people walk in, they see this beautiful lap car. The color itself is eye-opener. And a lot of times we'll sit people in the car and show them what real great car stereo can sound like. Once they get past this, we have a multitude of options for different stereo systems, for drop-down TVs, for lighting, for remote starters, car alarms, that kind of thing.
So before we go too far, Keith, I have some questions for you. I noticed there's an ample amount of space in your showroom. Do you always have a demo vehicle parked in there?
We like to. We don't always have one in here. So each of my installers and salespeople have demo car. So there's 5 cars here that have great systems in them, varying degrees of quality and expense. So we show customers what each one sounds like.
And are you a firm believer of the ultimate demo being in a demo vehicle for sound?
Yes. So what I found is, if you're going to sit in my car, I'm excited about my car. It sounds incredible. And so that helps us sell. It really does.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Come on in. You'll see the same sign everywhere. I mean, it's everywhere you look, it sounds good. On every panel, on every little piece of equipment, it sounds good. Except the other things, the Sage Audio or something like that. We don't really brand a whole lot of other products here. I mean, we have this and whatever comes on the package, pretty much. But we sell SoundsGood first because this is who we are. This is what we do. And if you look up there, it definitely sounds good.
Oh yeah, very nice branding. So branding is a very key element to your promotion and your strategy.
You can come in and see here's some $5,000 speakers, $300 speakers, and a lot of things in between. It's not about selling high-end stereos. It's about understanding what the person hears. So some people love a lot of really crisp highs, and other people hate it. And there's some people in between. So different speakers will have different sonic signatures, and that's what we need to find out so we can get the right combination of speakers in the car so the customer loves it.
So this mega board that you have in front of you here, I noticed there's many different brands incorporated into the board, and to your point, you're talking about showing a selection of different sound qualities. Yes. How much thought goes into, specifically which product to put into this board? Because obviously I see it's completely full. There's no empty spaces. And I just want to get inside your head a little bit about when you're creating or building something like this, what goes through your mind?
Quality. There's a problem. I want to know that I'm going to be taken care of. Customer's going to be taken care of. Ease of installation, that kind of thing. So some things they kind of fall apart. I've been doing this for so long. I've seen so many different things. So they need to be able to be installed easily without issue. They need to not break down. And need to sound pretty good. Like I don't have $50 speakers here. The speakers here start at about $300.
So $300 is your entry point for speakers. Now, why don't you take the time to walk us through a couple of the brands that you are affiliated with?
So at $300, you get JL Audio. They're just down here. Actually, these are the ones that happen to be playing. They do sound nice. It's not my personal preference. My listening ability is looking for something with more articulation. And so the C7s have more of that kind of sound quality. I also carry a lot of Focal products. So I've got some different Focals here. I've got Illusion for that need to be really stealth and stout. I've got Morale as well, which are about this thick. Actually, these are this thick.
Oh yeah, those drivers are super shallow.
Yeah. We do a lot of jobs that there's no space for speakers. And so a bit of a compromise in sound. The sound quality on these, there's a lot of bass and stuff in them, but they're stupidly thin, so they just fit, and they work. We also do Audison and get some Thesis speakers up here. We do Audio Frog. We even have some Kenwoods on the board. And they're just they're props basically to find out what consumers really need, what their ears prefer.
I have to point out here, we've done a couple of these shop tours, and this is the most impressive multi-brand display of higher-end, high-quality speakers I've seen yet. So congratulations on that.
Thank you. We also have some pretty expensive amplifiers on display. The VXIs, they're I think $1,600 or something like that each. For the completely active display, there's no passive crossovers in this board, and so the processing amplifiers that we have, we use half the amplifier for the mid-range and 3/4 actually. So 4 channels for mid bass and 2 channels for tweeters. That runs the whole board. Yeah, and then the 1,000-watt amp we can use for any of the subwoofers below, or any of the ones that we can plug in along the side.
You know, I have to comment here, Keith. You know, you talk about transparency. I mean, that is a unique setup. The customer, from a customer experience, has total view and access to what's going on behind the scenes in the shop. And I obviously this is purposeful.
Yes. So when we built this place, we got it because of the floor. I'll be honest. Love this floor. It's shiny, it's bright, and it gives a sense of higher end.
It's prestigious.
Feeling.
It's prestigious.
It is
like a high end home with marble floors, basically. That's what it looks like.
Pretty much. That coupled with the high ceilings and the brick walls, and we painted it in such a way to keep the walls and things out of your mind, but we wanted to focus on the products and the ability to see what's going on in the background. Well, come on through, I'll show you what it looks like. They might be loud and swearing. First thing you'll see is there's a battery attendant on, because I'm sick and tired of paying for new batteries. So,
okay.
Smart, right? Yeah. I never want to pay for battery again over here. We have a tuning cart, because everything nowadays uses a DSP, digital signal processor. And in that, we need to be able to bring this cart over to the vehicle.
Oh.
And
is that a snap-on tool converted to a RTA?
Yes. So we cut this out to accommodate the RTA in here. We have all kinds of tools in this, but there's a dedicated screen. We have all the software, the hardware to do the right job.
Very impressive.
All the cables, all the notepads, sniffer. Hey, that's where that went to. I was wondering. We have all the tools to make any job, work out properly.
How many, what's the percentage, in your opinion, Keith, right now, the vehicles that are coming in to get upgrades, is this kit being used on in percentage? 60, easily. Interesting.
Yeah, so even radios these days, aftermarket radios, have the ability to use these products to maximize the ability for the sound to be incredible. We have a drop box. On the other side of this door, there's a little lid that opens up. You can drop your keys in, and it's bolted in. Good luck getting that thing stolen.
Oh, so that door goes outside. Outside access.
Yeah. So we used to be like, yeah, just throw it in the mailbox. It'll be fine. It's not fine. Parts and availability for the computer system. So the guys are on the computer a lot to make sure that the wiring colors are correct and information is correct on the vehicles that they're working on. So a very popular station.
You don't mind giving us a little a wide swoop of the area? I'd love to see. Okay, I see. There you go.
Yes.
So,
taking the lights off already. Sorry. So we have two electric doors here. So I figured out a long time ago it's best to have remote controls, so you can open and close the door easily from the outside. So you go grab a car, come in, push a button, the door opens. You drive it in, push a button, the door closes. Simplifies it, saves time, energy, and money.
So how many vehicles can they accommodate at one time comfortably?
Comfortably, one here, one over there, and one in the showroom.
All right, very nice.
Yeah, this one's 3,300 square feet, not as large as the Coquitlam store. We do a lot of heat shrink, so we have a multitude of sizes and shapes and colors of heat shrink.
What's your preferred supplier or brand of wiring and accessories? I'm sorry, I was referring more.
It's usually it's install bay for the heat shrink. It's install bay. For wiring, we use iConnect.
Okay.
From Trends. Come on in here. It's my favorite room.
Oh, this looks interesting. What's in here? Look at that.
This is a mess. We have lots of sanding devices. We have bopping wheels, drill press, of course. Another wheel to sand things, or spinning wheel to grind things down. Dust collection, of course. And over here we have 3 router tables, spiral. So this grinds down most of our plastic for us to whatever shape that we want to put it into. We use a lot of kingpin adapters because they don't stick like just clear acrylic does. They tend to work really well. So we have lots of templates already for all kinds of different vehicles, and we usually label them like Teslas or Nissans or whatever it is. We also have what they call the animal chop saw, because that always just comes in handy. We have extra templates as well for vehicles that we work on a lot, like Dodge trucks and stuff like that.
And I noticed that a nice feature. That's another garage door.
Yes. So it gets hot in here, like unbelievably. So we lift this door up. There's a breeze that goes through all the way through the front, and it just chills it out. It's so nice. And
you can receive materials right there, I suppose.
We could. Yeah, this goes right up to the back alley of the street.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Our table saw. More templates.
Now, we've talked a lot about infrastructure. What about staff? What are you at full capacity as far as technicians versus the front staff?
We have 2 in the front and 2 in the back. So 2 salespeople in the front, 3 installers in the back. If it gets overwhelmed, I can draw from the other store to get more installers here, or vice versa. We do some marine here. We'll do like sea-doos and things like that, but because of the height, we can't do a full-size boat, and there's no depth for it as well at this location. The other location does a lot of boats.
Gotcha.
But we do side-by-sides here. This board here is strictly Kenwood. It's all Kenwood all the time. We get some people that are on kind of a budget, and so this one will give you everything you want for a budget. So it comes with amplifiers, speakers, subwoofers, and
One thing I appreciate about the Kenwood lineup, I was talking to Glenn Schwackhammer, and he was running it through me. And you know what? Even at the entry level, you're getting a lot of value, I find. I just realized that whole Kenwood lineup, and I see why you have it there right now. Do you sell a lot of the Exelon product as well?
We sell mostly Exelon. We found that it looks better, sounds even nicer. So we just had an event here, and so we have tables left over from the event. This is our stock room for, we put things on the shelf for the jobs that are coming up. So that's over there. In this particular one, we have some ARC audio, some Gladen, some Moscone links, lots of JL stuff, lots more JL stuff. We do a lot of JL here. Can you tell?
I can tell. There's a lot of JL.
Yeah, we got a lot of audio fog in the background.
I'm going to say a comment here.
Mm-hmm.
You are truly one of those retailers that supports a multitude of different distributors.
It's about my customers. It really is. So this stuff over here, the Audison stuff, it fits very, very specific clientele. Like Tesla 3s, for example. We use all Audison because they fit so well. It's unbelievably and quality fit. No drop current. They're small. The form factor is great, and they just sound great. How can you go wrong? Oh, and the price. It's way cheaper than anything else. Speaking of everything else, we have some Focal, some MTX, some Audison, Moscone, more Focal. Oh, have you seen these before? These are the Utopia M's.
Oh,
Yes.
Justin Bond over at BB was showing me those when we had the whole thing, and yeah, those are sweet, no doubt about it. And to my comment about how you do buy from so many different distributors, but your answer to me was that it's about the customer. So that's an important message. You get what the customers want at the end of the day.
It's always, the customer's the boss. Yeah. They're the ones that pay my paycheck. They're the ones that say, I want this. It's my job to source it out and give them what they want at a price that doesn't hurt too much.
I'm going to ask you a question. And since you've been in business, what brand have you carried with you your entire career? Or what brands? Are there any that
Pioneer.
Really stuck?
Pioneer was my first. When I first started out, the showroom was about this big. It was 10 foot by 12 foot, and I had a desk. That's all I had. I had no money. It was horrible. But Pioneer was the first company that invested in me. And from there, it was Staub, Trends, DLC, the local companies. They tend to like us and yeah. I always lock the stock rooms, which open instead of open in, they open out. I've been broken into 7 times. I know what it's like to safeguard my stuff. So come on in.
Best. These are the smaller items I see.
Yes. So in this room, we have a lot of stuff for remote starters, car alarms. Then we get into the Kenwood speakers, more remote starter stuff, some Kenwood and Sony radios. We do a lot of backup cameras still, like unbelievable amounts.
Backup cameras.
We got a little pile there. Yeah, okay. They're great. In here, we've got some radios. And like I said, this is not only the stock room for radios. The other one in Coquitlam's got the bulk of it. Actually, 2/3 of the stock is in Coquitlam. So a lot of Pioneer stuff, some Sony stuff, a little bit of Alpine stuff, a ton of Kenwoods. Yeah,
I can see you like your Kenwood, no doubt about that.
Yeah.
Excellent. All right.
They've been really good. We have a lot of them. So right now we've got a Sony here, we've got Pioneer here. The Kenwood's going to go here. We have a bunch of Kenwoods, but we just didn't put the time into changing it around. We also like props. This came out of my truck. We show customers what it takes to replicate this to get a new speaker in the truck and still have it sound great.
So listen, Keith, I can't thank you enough for taking the time to show us around this location of SoundsGood. If I have to sum it up, what can you say as a message maybe for the other retailers that are watching this from across the country? What was the one thing that you're really proud of as far as your store setup is concerned?
The biggest thing I'm proud of is my staff. They are the company. Without it, this wouldn't be. So I used to be at another location in Burnaby, but we kept getting broken into. So we decided to move, and we found this place, and it wasn't the typical shop it is today. When I moved in, I had a trip scheduled to China, and so I went on my trip, but I didn't know that there's no Google, there's no Facebook, and there's not a lot of communication issues or abilities between the two countries. So my staff just about quit because there was so much stress about getting things perfected I'd laid out without communication with me. And so, yes, the thing I'm most proud of is their understanding and commitment to do what's right for the company, not just for me. But that was the day I learned that the staff is the company. And so I treat them with respect, with dignity, and better communication than I ever have in my life.
Amazing. Keith, can't thank you enough. And we'll talk to you back in the studio.
Awesome. Thanks, Ben.
Wow. There you have it, folks. SoundsGood, courtesy of Mr. Keith McCumber. Keith, I really like that story that you ended on about your staff and how you realized as an owner, just how critical, the foundation and the success of your business is based on having a great staff, a great family to work with.
I think that's the biggest difference between BC and Ontario or Quebec, where everybody is a one-man show. Out here, I think we get a better understanding of how to put the business together with people that are critical to the different aspects of the business.
That's an interesting statement. I mean, there's no doubt about it. There are a really great selection of premier shops. In my opinion, probably Manitoba West, and that's not to say, and don't get me wrong, there's some great shops in Quebec and Ontario, but per capita, I think anybody in this industry would agree that there seems to be a certain popularity. I don't know what the word is, but there certainly is a bunch of great shops. Of course, SoundsGood is no exception to that rule. Let's wrap this up, Keith. We had a great opportunity to talk about a little bit of your history. Obviously, a really in-depth tour of your shop. What's next? How do you see the next 6 months, 12 months going? We're just coming off a very unique environment year. With COVID, obviously, everybody had a boost. Here we are, new year. What do you, in your professional opinion, feel is on the horizon for our industry in Canada here?
I believe that the status quo is going to be the same until travel is available. Right now, nobody can really go anywhere. So all their funds, instead of going into some other foreign country, will stay here. And so they're investing in their homes, they're investing in their livelihoods, and they're investing in their cars. So I think that the people in Carstairs will continue to rock and roll until the pandemic is up, at least.
So Car Stereo is here to stay, at least for the next bit. And it's you know what? It's great for everybody. Let's be honest. It's great for me. It's great for you. It's great for everybody in our industry. And we can't wait to see the type of projects that you're going to come on. We've showcased so much of your work already, but we're going to continue doing that. What message do you have, Keith? I'm going to end with this one. What message do you have for some of the shops that maybe are still that one-man operation and are looking at this as an opportunity to maybe take that next step? What advice do you have for those young entrepreneurs?
Get outside the box. I used to be in the box and I could see what I could do with my own hands. And my wife said something poignant yet seemingly stupid at the time. She said, "Work smarter, not harder." It's like, what the seriously? I busted my balls. What's your problem, right? And so she explained it to me that I'm only able to do so much with my own hands and my own mind. When I look beyond that to get help from people like yourself or people that are on programs like this, I can get a better understanding of what's really possible. And then once I see what's possible, then change is inevitable.
Yeah, so be open-minded and be on the lookout for those opportunities and go for them. That's a great message. Any shout outs, Keith? Anybody you'd like to thank before we let you go?
Frank.
That's the first time anybody's thanked Frank. I've been trying to set that up. There you go.
If it wasn't for Frank, you and Ben wouldn't be doing this.
There we go. Absolutely. Frank Spezzano, my partner, our executive producer. There you go. Keith McCumber just gave you a shout out, bruh. Sounds good. You have a great season, Keith. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you. Much success for 2021.
Thanks, Ben. Appreciate it.
All right. So there you have it. Keith McCumber, owner of SoundsGood. Certainly a pioneer and somebody who has found a way to crack that code on having a very successful business. And you heard it from the horse's mouth. He predicts that so long as travel limits are still in effect, we should, as an industry, continue to enjoy a little bit of spike in business that car audio has seen for the last 9 months to a year. Well, that's it. We're going to be back on Wednesday on a special CMA Live. We're going to have the poster out for that a little bit later on today. And then back again on Friday this week. Keith mentioned Trends Electronics out of BC. Well, Trends was actually celebrating their 30th anniversary. So we're going to have the folks at Trends on with us for CMA Connected, a special edition this Friday, so we could celebrate their anniversary together with them and congratulate them on that. So on that note, thank you again for joining us on this episode of CMA Live. I'm your host, Ben Wu. Until next time, we connect.